These days, it seems every Minecraft YouTube channel can show off a mega base. And like me, you may be wondering how you can build one yourself. I'm planning on filling this entire area with a city like London or New York. But I work full time and I don't have a huge amount of time to commit each day to building on Minecraft. And if you're like me, you want to know how to make the most of the time you spend playing so you can finish your mega base. In this video, that's what I'll show you. The mindset and planning that goes into a mega build so that you and I can finish our builds and have something to be proud of in our worlds. The first mindset we need to adapt is that preparing the terrain takes much longer than you think. In my last video, I moved out to this area to get it prepared for me to start working on this mega build, and I've spent the time in between taking down all the trees to remove the forest that was here. The next step is to smooth out some of this terrain so the hills aren't quite as tall and the valleys not quite as deep. So the bits of the land that need to be taken down have been taken down. Now it's just a little matter of all the land that needs to be brought up. I plan to bring all of the terrain down here up to this level, which is y equals 70, and that involves a mass placing of blocks, which I've found is easiest done if you have these strips 3 blocks across, because then you can just walk across each of them and place the blocks, assuming you do it properly. You just need to make sure they're spaced 3 across, not any further than that. And placing these strips can be a bit of a pain, but if you didn't know, it's actually quicker to hold shift and go diagonally and place blocks compared to if you just do it the normal way of going backwards. Don't ask me why, but for some reason Minecraft decided it's quicker to do it this way. So now we've got most of this bit pretty much done, and you can kind of see where it's extended out the land a bit to try and remove some of the extra hills and gradients, and I have not lit up under there, so we'll have to do that. I still have this section of land over here, and on the other side of the island I have this section of land here. What I don't want to do is overdo it. I've got myself a nice starting point of land to begin planning out the base and planning out the city, and if I go too far now, I think it will get confusing and potentially overwhelming. So the next piece of advice is really to know when to stop. Finish the bits that you need to get finished, finish the priorities, and then start going from there. An example of a massive build that's featured in the background of my base is this enormous pyramid by my friend on the server Bonded. This is a huge project and I want to know how he managed to do this. He also works full time and can't play Minecraft for hours upon hours each day, so he's the perfect person to get insight on how to get into the right mindset for building large scale projects.
So what I've tried to do is break things up. When it gets a little bit much, I try and think of something else to do. So, the pyramid took no time at all really. But like I said, I broke it up with other jobs, and then I've got the interior, so I kind of built the pumpkin and melon farm in the corner. I spent some time with villagers, put the farmers in, got a bit bored of doing that, so then I spent some time doing this iron farm and setting that up, and then went back to villagers and got the villagers over in that corner for trading with iron. Now I'm trying to do the next bit of farm I want to do before I need to go and get more deep slate. Not the last season, the season before the last season on Project Hydra, which I was running.
Yeah.
I built a huge Colosseum, fighting arena Colosseum. Yeah. The aim of it being, at the end of the season, we all gather, break up into teams, and all do
a massive
fight and everything else. And I spent ages building it, but that's all I did.
Yeah.
Literally all I did. And I got to the end of it, and I was like, what do I do now? And I was just complete burnout. It was I don't know what to do. And I took a break because I needed to try to clear my head. And then the longer I took the break, the harder it was to come back.
Yeah, yeah.
And I ended up staying away for months before I eventually came back. I tried to start building a Roman town around the Colosseum, but my head wasn't in it at that point. And I've been away for so long. It was so yeah. I think with building a big thing is having lots of little things that you can break away and do something different.
So to break everything up here into little chunks, I think it's best that we plan out exactly where the different parts of our build are going to go. That means working out which part of the city is going to be what. So the middle bit of our map, where we have already flattened it out, is going to be our traditional city with all the skyscrapers and big buildings, big streets and things like that. If we move to the west, that's kind of where we're going to find our beaches and our shops, because we've got this bay of sand over here, and we can probably put our studio over there as well. To the east, we're going to have industrial district, where we're going to have all of our redstone farms and things like that. And then to the south, we're going to have the docks, because this little bay here just juts inland, looks perfect for putting a ship that's just coming in to unload cargo, and I think that would be a great place to put things like storage rooms, which can be our warehouses. So now we have our entire area all planned out. It's just a case of knowing where to start. And the mindset of knowing how to do this comes from another server friend of mine, Razor. His approach to building big is what allowed him to build the Cove. Part city, part base, part collaborative recording hub, Razor has built the Cove starting in a similar way to how I'm building my city. He's flattened a huge area of land which he's building up now, and how he did it and the way he's approaching the huge scale of this task is invaluable for me. So the way he's doing it is this.
The way I kind of approached this was I knew how much space I needed. Like, I knew I wanted a suburb. I knew I needed all these things. I've just kind of been building as I went. I do necessary things first.
Okay.
So, for instance, when I build the seaside district, it is going to be centered around a hotel. That hotel needs to go up first so I can theme the rest of the area around it. So
okay.
I kind of build based off of what needs to go there and what is going to be central to that. The hotel is going to have a casino, but that casino can't go up before the hotel because it's going to be connected in a way. It needs to be based off of the hotel, and that's kind of my philosophy has always been like necessity first. And expand from there.
So with Razor's advice ringing in my ears, I set out to build the object which I thought was the biggest need for this base, and that was a main road through all of the skyscrapers and the main part of my city. Now this can serve as a backdrop, it can provide some beautiful establishing shots, and it can just be something really nice to walk down and run down when I'm recording videos. So this will be the center part of the entire build, and like Razor said, we can build everything else out from around this point. To get some inspiration for my city, I've come over to Ritro's base, where he and Iku are building I believe a city of their own. You can see he's got some skyscrapers over there. Now in the interest of making things as efficient as possible, what I'm noticing about the skyscrapers is there's quite a lot of repeating pattern, but each one's ever so slightly different in terms of its colouring, but the design is very similar. This is going to allow me to build skyscrapers quite quickly and easily if we don't assume all of them need to look completely different. Now if we take a look, it's got a thing of absolute pure evil, the quiet suburbs. So with repeating patterns being the time saver that I hope they will be, I set about in a creative world the design for the first skyscraper that's going to go in my city. You didn't think we were going to finish the entire city in one episode, did you? That's not realistic for someone with no time. Remember? I said I was going to go through the planning and mindset that helps someone build a mega base. No broken promises here. Now, I couldn't help myself, I did some texturing on the walls here, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. I've only picked out a few blocks and they do look really nice together. So I have gathered up the resources that are going to be necessary to build this, but there's one final mindset that we need to probably work out, and that is the grind. How do you carry on going when you've built up a bunch of skyscrapers and yet another one feels like it's an insurmountable task? That's something I'm going to be discussing in future videos when we get to that point. So my suggestion is subscribe and maybe you'll find out.